This segment is brought to you by A.J. Doman Chevrolet. We say yes when others say no.
Everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. It's time to check in with Assumption Parish, and for that, we go to Assumption Parish and Commander Lonnie Cavalier, who's with the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. Thanks for joining us. I know you guys are getting ready for a busy time with Memorial Day and summertime and that kind of stuff, but we do have a few cases that we'd like to talk about, starting with one in Bayou Lewis. You forget how big Assumption Parish is, but Bayou Lewis is on the tip of the other side, so why don't you take us through that?
Yes, Harry, thanks for having us. James Casey Oquin, 42 of 155 Felicia Street, Bayou Lewis, was arrested on felony charges arising from an incident at a residence in the 100 block of R. Steele Road. A uniformed patrol deputy was dispatched to the residence and made contact with the complainant, who advised that she locked her doors and went to bed, and at some point she was awakened by someone in her bedroom. The complainant recognized the individual as James Casey Oquin. The complainant observed damages to her door lock as well as the door frame and believes that was how he made entry into her home. James Casey Oquin left the home when ordered by the complainant to leave. Deputies located James Casey Oquin nearby, and he was arrested on charges of unauthorized entry of an inhabited dwelling and simple criminal damage to property. He remains incarcerated with his bond set at $35,000. In a separate case, Rontaj Dontrell Kelson, 20 of 137 Violet Street, Labradorville, was arrested on a fugitive warrant as well as felony resisting arrest charges arising from a disturbance complaint at a residence in the 100 block of Violet Street. Deputies were dispatched to the location and made contact with the complainant, who advised that an individual now identified as Rontaj Dontrell Kelson repeatedly goes to her home and threatens her family. Deputies made contact with Kelson at his residence nearby. Deputies determined that Rontaj Dontrell Kelson was wanted on a fugitive warrant for a felony probation parole violation in the state of Texas. Kelson was placed under arrest and engaged deputies in a physical struggle. Deputies and detectives were able to restrain and take Rontaj Dontrell Kelson into custody. Kelson was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of resisting arrest with force or violence and a fugitive probation violation from the state of Texas. He remains incarcerated pending a bond hearing. In a separate incident, Marty J. Jameson Sr., 64 of 139 Jones Street, Napoleonville, was arrested on felony gun law violations arising from an incident at an area retail outlet north of Napoleonville. Uniformed patrol deputies were dispatched to the location in reference to a disturbance. Deputies made contact with the complainant, who advised that they were patrons at the business when an argument erupted between them and Marty Jameson Sr. At some point during that argument, the complainants alleged that Marty Jameson Sr. threatened them with a gun. Deputies located Marty Jameson Sr. and conducted an officer violator interview, and at the conclusion of that process, Marty Jameson was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of possession of firearm by convicted felon, illegal use of weapons, or dangerous instrumentalities. Marty Jameson posted a $60,000 property bond. In a drug arrest, Ariane Nicole Wiggins, 27 of 723 Tesh Road, Morgan City, Louisiana, was arrested on multiple felony charges arising from a traffic stop in Pierrepont. A uniformed patrol deputy observed a westbound vehicle commit a traffic violation on LE7 and executed a stop of that vehicle. The deputy made contact with the driver, now identified as Ariane Nicole Wiggins. The deputy initiated an officer violator interview and determined that Wiggins did not possess a valid Louisiana driver's license. The deputy noted a strong odor of alcohol emitting from the person of Ariane Nicole Wiggins. The deputy further noted a strong odor of suspected marijuana emitting from the suspect vehicle. The suspect, Ariane Nicole Wiggins, performed poorly on alcohol standardized field sobriety tests. At the conclusion of the interview process, a search was conducted of the suspect vehicle, which resulted in the seizure of multiple controlled dangerous substances. At the conclusion of the investigation, Ariane Nicole Wiggins was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of sale, distribution, possession of legend drugs without a prescription or order, possession of Adderall, possession of Xanax, possession of marijuana, operating a vehicle while intoxicated, driving on roadway lanes for traffic, and possession of alcoholic beverages in a motor vehicle, as well as an expired motor vehicle inspection tag. Ariane Nicole Wiggins was transported to a local healthcare facility where a blood draw was conducted for testing purposes. Ariane Nicole Wiggins posted a $70,000 commercial bond early this morning.
All right, Lonnie, we got about a minute to go, but there's also, along with Memorial Day, you have what they call a WAVE. It's an enforcement detail. There's a grant, so we want to make sure people are staying safe on the roadways this week, huh?
Yes, we started that process today and runs through Memorial Day and actually runs through September 20th. And it is an effort between the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office and is funded by NHTSA, National Highway Safety Commission, and the Department of Public Safety, in which funding is provided. And in this particular case, we will be enforcing DWI laws as well as seatbelt violations, particularly saturating all of our major areas of the parish with extra patrols, focusing mainly on those two items.
I got you. So they want to make sure everybody stays safe. Well, Lonnie, I appreciate your update, and you stay safe. Have a great Memorial Day. Thanks for joining us.
Y'all have a great one. Thanks for having us.
You too. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Rouse's Markets. Feels like home.